Hey everybody, this is Al with El Rey Collection. Hope you guys are having a great Friday night here. I've been traveling a bit and I'm back to a bunch of mail, including a number of boxes from PSA, number of DHLs. I think I'm just going to trudge through the mail here first and then maybe open one of the smaller PSA boxes because there's quite a few of them over here. So let me just get my comment section up to make sure that if anybody can't hear me or has an issue, they can type in there. And I think I'm just gonna start ripping this stuff. Hey, nothing better than a Friday night when ripping. So I think this is coming from Argentina. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, look at that, Jose Roberto Rines. Nice to see you. Hope everything's well in Brazil. Glad to see that you could make this, especially even on short notice. You always seem able to jump in on short notice. That's very fun. I think it's even later there in Brazil than it is here. So hope you're having a good Friday night. All right, let's see kind of what we have in here. I don't think I have much from Brazil this time. But we will see. This is solid packaging. Let's see here. Now, big news, big week in the hobby with this PSA announcing buying SGC. It's kind of big news. Here's some fun ones. These are coming in from Argentina, and this will be a couple of certainly names that I think most of you will recognize, perhaps not, but most notably here are these really kind of fun 1935 por de la Noblesse cards. And what's really cool about these, Carlos Buceye and Bernabe Ferrara, what's really cool about these are these are punched out. You can see the silhouettes there, right? And these have not been punched. So most of the time they'll be punched out and you'll just get part of the card. So these haven't been punched. And so these are really, really tough. Very fragile cards too. So these are a couple massive highlights. I mean, these are just great, amazing cards. These 1935. I'm going to put these right in Card Savers. Got to move some stuff here just so we don't have a little accident while we're doing all this, because these are important cards. Okay, here, I'll put that up. So we've got all good, Ed. Good to see you. Hope life is treating you well in the city. We've got hey, that's all right, Sports Girl Harry. Check it out tomorrow. Have a good night. Hopefully you had a pleasant evening. Yeah, of course. Yep. I just was hoping that I had something cool from Brazil I could show you, Jose Roberto. Just because, it's always fun. It's always fun to see stuff from your country, going into other collectors around the world. So, but kicking it off here, I'd say these are pretty important cards. These guys right here. And then some less important, but also fun because of the shape, are these there's some 1959 Fulbito cards. I'll show you these, and then an unpunched 1960. I'll show you this in a sec. Just got to get this out. This is all in one. So you see these Fulbito cards right here. So you got a couple, like here's a Fangio, in better shape. So you got Galvez, his his main competitor, a couple other drivers, and then you've got this. This is kind of cool, more so because it's still kind of in the unpopped the way that it would have gotten in the pack. And here's a Rivera here. Again, not super important stuff there. We can just put this off to the side and I'll sleeve that later. All right, so that was fun. Certainly the two big cards there were the 35 Porta Noblesse cards. We'll throw this over here. The next ones, let's see this. There'll be an odd one in here. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will be like, wait, what's that? Because I think there's a Pokemon card in here. Not a valuable one, but just one I wanted to have. Yep, and this is it. So we'll quickly jump off this. But in case you wanted to know, it's a Chansey with the Master Ball Holo. I know not many of you follow Pokemon, so I'll just breeze right through that. I kind of guessed that was probably going to be Pokemon based on the packaging. Then we're into, I do actually have quite an extensive Pokemon collection. I don't really post much of it because I know that there's not a crossover that most people do. My son and I like to crack, and actually my daughter and wife as well like to crack the boxes and see what we get. It's kind of just a fun family thing we've done a while. So this is kind of fun, is because this card has been a super pain in my neck to trace down, and I want to show you. And luckily, I actually found this other one that I wanted to discuss. I'll have an Instagram post on this because I think it's really, really fun. Just the nuance of this one. It's coming here from the UK, but it's actually a French issue. And I just want to show you guys what this looks like. So this is a 1978 Ugo Sanchez, and it's from the RTL, the French, the French, what do you call albums? So here they call it Americana München here at CSG. I think that's wrong. It's actually this RTL, which I think PSA gets this right. So I'm going to show you something very interesting about this. So this is actually, you're going to notice at the bottom, they both have the same number, the Sanchez, and it's Mexique, which obviously is in French, so it's not Americana. And what you notice in this one is this is actually Ugo Sanchez. So this is the corrected one. And this is the non-corrected one where it's actually his teammate. You can kind of see a resemblance in the hairstyle at least. But it's really kind of fun. You can see the backs are the same. Well, I guess actually slightly different now that I look at this one is slightly different. I've never seen these two cards together, but I just looked at these and said, okay, here we go. So here they have the incorrect. It says Sanchez, but it's not the right photo, right? And then here is the right photo. And this photo is used on other cards. I'll show you one here in this right here. So this is actually the Americana. And this CSG calls it an Americana München, but it's not. It's in French, and it's the RTL version. So this is mislabeled. But what I wanted was the card to match it with the error card. And I've been trying to put these two together for a long time. Both super low pops. The RTLs are really hard for whatever reason. So super excited to finish this kind of off and get these two cards together. So I'll do an Instagram post on this later. It's a little unfortunate that CSG got this wrong. You can see again, same photo, which he uses in a number, or which it was used of him in a number of 78 cards for the World Cup. Okay. Next one. Let's see what this is from a US collector. So let's see here what we got. All right, we've got nothing else in there. Yeah, and if you guys were, I may have said this before. This is probably the preferred way to pack with painting tape. It doesn't stick as much as other types of tape. So it's very easy to get off, but it's still secure enough for cards. Oh, this is a fun one. These are actually kind of hard. And this is Balancieri. And this is the red ones from the 1930 DEA. These are made of tin, and these are actually kind of hard. The red ones in particular are hard. But yeah, this is a nice little Italian one to put in that pile. But came from a US collector. Oh boy, look at this one with customs, opened by customs. Great. Open and resealed by customs. Never like that. And this one is coming from Argentina. Don't cry for me. Oh boy. This has DHL tape on it. And they got into it. And we're double checking what was in here, which is their right, but it's just a little frustrating. When they should have technology that can just scan this stuff and say, look, there's nothing dangerous or anything in here, but I hope this isn't damaged. Let's see. Okay. Okay, this came out of the I mean, what doesn't really fit well in the in top loaders. They need to be, these are more Card Saver 5 items, but just make sure these are good too. So these are 19. So there's cards that look exactly like this that are from 1926, but they're small. I don't actually have one of these with me right now, but you can find. Ooh, this one came out. So 1926. There's 1926 Aguila. Here's a Pedro Ochoa. It's a much smaller. This is a double one, and obviously these are longer. And these are actually came out in 1929, which to my eyes, in my experience, these are much tougher than the 1926 ones. Now you may want the 1926 ones because they'll fit in a standard holder, and you may and they're earlier, so they're like almost rookies for a number of them. But here's a really great Luis Monti. Look at that. And the really clean, backs on these. So these are kind of very, very uncommon to my eyes. And there's a bunch of, there's just 5 or 6 of these. I guess the biggest ones would be Monty and Ochoa, and I guess Tessitore to the keeper. So these are really cool. I'm gonna have to get these in bigger holders here, though. Don't want to damage those, so put those off to the side. And I think that's it. I think there's 5. So thank God nothing happened on the DHL here, which the government decided to open. Don't love that, but it does happen from time to time. Okay, so let's see. The next one is, we'll do this one. This one's from Argentina as well. There's a number of things in here, including some things that I'm going to help a friend grade. So, let's see. The easiest way into these boxes is always the question. Okay. See if I can just pry my way in and have a look first. Okay, good. Yeah, there's a box within a box, which is great. So, and then I've got a PSA, some PSA returns here. To be honest, there's a number of boxes, so I think I'll probably just do one tonight because then I got to organize them. And you see, throw all this stuff on the floor while I'm doing this just to make it quick. And so in here, it's got some saran wrap. So the customs would have had a field day with this one because it's got saran wrap on it, and it is a box within a box within a box. All right. Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to be quite careful on this. All right. All right. So we've got some things in here. Let's see. We have one package within a package. Really nicely packed, I will say. Items within items. Okay, these are a couple of the items that are mine here in this item. So we've got the, okay, let's see the best way to do this. Okay, so these are some pretty rare album in Argentina called the Dix album. And what they are transfer stamps. So you actually would, apply water to these. And here's an Arico. You can see on the back it says Collection Disc, Mágica Dix, and you'd put these in the album. You'd put water on them, and then this color would reverse, and then you would see the Arsenio Arico with this bright blue and red shirt and his face. And so these are all never transferred. So those of you familiar with the 33, I think it is, a transferred Stanley Matthews transfer stamp. These are the same thing. You've got all the stars in here: Arico, Orsi. Here's Dominguez de Guia, Sastre. So just a bunch of these. Had a lot of the stars in here. So a bunch of really fun transfer stamps from the Dix album. You can see again the back Dix. If you have this book, you'll be able to see them on it. It's really, really kind of a cool book. And then together with one of my favorite cards, I know it's end of his career, but 1951 Figuritas Cola, J.M. Moreno, just an epic card. Definitely pretty cool card. And so happy to get those. Let me see here. There's a question here. in your mind. Hey, I see many fakes coming out. I've had yeah. So, there have been more fakes coming out of Latin America than there have historically been. I'd actually say that more have been out of Uruguay than Argentina from what I've seen. But I definitely, it's on the rise. Anytime that there's dollars and cents at play, you're gonna see some increased trying to fake. Now the good news is a lot of them are really hard to fake, just the printing on these things. So and the shapes, especially of the Argentine ones, are kind of really really different. So to get all that geometry right isn't as difficult. I mean, it's more difficult than just a straight square. Yeah, so I haven't seen any yet, but I typically buy from the same 4 or 5 people that I have from for a very long time. So let's see, and then this is some stuff I'm gonna submit, for my friend here, so you can see. I'll just go through some of this quickly, just so you guys can see kind of what's going in. Who knows exactly how. PSA still hasn't graded a number of items. Here's some fun Popo tins. I can't even read exactly what these are. My this is a sauce tray, I think. So that's a Popo. Another one that. It's a kind of a rare one. These are the what's Fruna, I think they are. These are all in the chapitas. They're made of metal. So let's see, if they do that. Here's a Plus Ultra. Nice. He also has a few of these dicks. So Roberto Cerro, Francisco Varelo, Dominguez de Guia. Here's a nice, this is the kind of a rarer sepia version of the dollar. Carcivara. I don't know who this one is, but another really cool dollar. This is the big card. This is Figuritas Pum. Juan Manuel Fangio. Never stuck. Here's a Lostau Figuritas Cola. This one is a Pele. I'm going to have to get more information on that, but there's a couple copies of that. So I'll be helping him out with that submission. Put that over here. And it's kind of, some of those are kind of hard because they haven't been graded before. All right. So, and then there's a couple things in here that are oversized, but I'll just get to that later. I don't want to take those out here while we're on the video. So let me get to the PSA boxes. Let's see. This is probably a good sized one. I've got a couple of them here. Let's see. I'm trying to just judge off of weight. Actually, maybe I'll just do this one. This one feels like intermediate. So I've got one bigger one smaller one, and then a couple in between. So I'll just do this one tonight, and so I can move out some of these cards and then make space for it. And I'll probably do another one of these at some point in the next week. I also have been working on my other 7 Wonders awards, videos. So if you haven't checked out my first one, the pre-war, do that. Check out that video, and then we will. I'll take it from there, and we can talk about other ones later, because I think those should both be out in the month of March, which I'm pretty excited about. Those were fun videos to make. So here, there's 2 of these big boxes. They used to, PSA was shipping in smaller boxes, but I guess these make just as much sense when you're sending in more. So let's see what we got here, folks. I was hoping the paperwork's in it. Yeah, because it's always fun to find out when you sent it in, how long did it take. Now, in fairness, a couple of these boxes have been here for a week or two, but I haven't. So let's take a look and see what was in this box. This was submitted, 99 cards, so we'll have to go quick. And it was submitted on October 13th, 2023. 99 items. So it went from, it actually arrived there, or they actually processed it in the 19th, but it actually arrived there at October 13th. So we got October, November, December, January, February, so 4 months more or less. It was at their bulk rate at that particular time, which was $15. And you can see, just based on the number of specs, a lot of these cards had never been graded. You can see that when it's blank over here, these cards have never been graded. Okay. So when it actually has a spec number, that means it has been graded and categorized as soccer cards. So you can see the vast majority of these cards had never been graded. I guess on this page, we have about half of them had been graded before, maybe more than half. And so let's get in. It should be some fun stuff in here. All right. Let's go. Let me check the comments. Oh, wow. Lots of comments here all of a sudden. Oh, hey, peeps. Good to see you. Evening. There you go. You corrected it. Oh, man, that's terrible. So you had somebody send you a photocopy? Yeah, that's just, well, the good news is that's low quality fakes. It's just terrible that people think they can, get away with stuff like that. So that's super disappointing. Any baseball, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So I had this, and this is a total aside because I was just going through some of the stuff that I had here, but I will show you, since you happen to ask. This is a never before graded Martin Dehigo from an album called El Sol. This is when he was at the end as a manager. And so this is Album de Oro de Baseball. And this is one of, his last cards issued in Mexico. So it's going to take me a while to get this graded because I got to get the album and everything. But I since you just happened to ask, this is really cool. And it's together with a Lázaro Salazar card as well. So anyway, just show you that, peep, since you ask. Yeah, those were pretty dang cool. I remember seeing those, Bend Your Mind. That was really, really cool. And now with everything going on the Ukraine, you think it's going to be even harder to find those types of things. So, all right, let's get to it. Wow, this is so weird. This looks terrible. I'm just honest. Take a look at this. Really cool Felix Lastal card and a PSA 2. But I don't know if you can see all of like the scratching and weirdness around this card. It's really bizarre and I really don't like it. And I'm not sure what in the world is going on there. So I'm going to actually leave this one out because I just think that's unacceptable. Okay, here's a really fun one. This is from Platillos Volantes, a Kubala, or Kubala, a VG4. Tough one to get. Really cool. I like it. One of the few times you'll see Spanish sets that have circular pogs. Here's another Lastal here in a 7 with an MC moniker because you can't see all the words in here. The 56 Figuritas de Sport is a relatively common album. That's kind of an uncommon grade though. pretty happy with that. Really cool, obviously amazing player. Here's a great, oh, here you go. Hopefully Jose Roberto Dinés is still here, the John Santos. Here's the a really kind of a nice, not super early, but certainly pre-World Cup 58 in this the OMB. These, look at the back, it's a little thrashed. Still, any of these are hard to get. Here's an Abe Lenstra. Always, you can tell from his hairdo, just great Dutch player from the Bolejet. Really kind of a great issue. There's a Puskas in this, many other of the Brazilian stars. There's a Copa in that. Here's a really fun Kubala. Again, I don't love the way that some of these are, you see how that's crooked? It just like, man, it bothers my OCD. That's a PSA 2. Not exactly sure why this didn't. I thought this was never stuck. I guess there's a fold in the back. These actually came in detergent. They're small. There's a Di Stefano in the set. Cool. Come in red and blue. So that's the. I think I may have submitted the red and the blue of both him and Di Stefano. Here's a nice Jair from the 1950 OMB Bala Central Goal. Most of these are ones because they're just thrashed. But look at this. No paper loss on the back. Very fun. Love to have that one. Let's see what else we got. I'm just going to keep flying in here. Here's the 56 Sport. This is a 1 because it was with, taken out of the album. Still absolutely worth it. Love this purple on this, right? And that's the Angel Labruna. Totally collectible guy. Here's an Ademir 55 Vecchi. This is a good looking card right here. Look at the back, looks good. You can see all the letters. Sometimes these are totally destroyed here. The Grinches are making a really big bounce back in the market. This one's totally thrashed, but still a super important player. Milton Santos, they gave this an authentic because it's only part of the card really, but just look at the photo. That's great. And it's a really, really hard album to get. Here's the 1953 Starosta, another Angel Labruna, Bicicleta. They gave this an authentic altered, mostly I think because it's like bashed here at the top. You see how it like the circular form it's miscut, number one, and then the top is like bashed, like a kid just like banged it against the table. Personally, I like this one because has a very clean back. It says Esta figurita no es canjeable por premios, which means you can't exchange this one for prizes. And this is part of the reason, solamente para pegar en el album, just to put in the album, to paste it in the album. But this is part of the reason why these 53 Starosta figurita bicicletas are more common, because there wasn't a prize element in this particular album. A lot of them are miscut like this, though. Still, Angel Labruna, really cool card, great player. Here's a Helmut Rahn from the 54. This particular one, there's a number of backs, and a lot of the issues in these use the same photography. Here's a fun one with Fritz Walter and Puskas walking out, and that's in a PSA 4.5. I'm just going to try to run relatively quickly through this stuff. Here's another nice Fritz Walter from the OK Hamburg set. This is actually, in my experience, slightly harder than some of the other sets. This OK, you can see it down here, OK Guagamali, or I don't even know how you say that. So, and this came in at, I didn't even see the grade, a 4. Yeah, most of these were mid-grade. I thought this one came in a little bit better. Same issue. This is a 6. Another Fritz Walter. This is one of my I just love this card, and I just don't know why. I mean, I guess just the green just pops on this. This is Hispano-Americana, and to get this one in a 5.5 is a big deal. These are almost always stuck. Look at that really clean back. And I love how they call them. It's the only card that I know where they call him the Sayeta Rubia with the blonde arrow. That's just amazing. It's just really at the height of his game where Real Madrid is winning all these European Cups. Pretty awesome. And here's a Zito, much better shape than the Nilton Santos we saw before. This is the OMB from 54, 55. I must have had an album of these, but to be honest, I don't really fully remember. Here's a Jair, another really nice, sharp one with the colors. And look at that back. I mean, all the letters are in there. Really, really nice. Must have been stuck, though. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gotten a 2. Actually, let me check the comments down here. Okay, good. Nothing else. But I mean, good meaning that I'm not behind. If you guys want to comment, please do. This here's a Kitty Puskas. This one was kind of rough. You can see the back, but I think any Kitty Puskas is good. I think this is really kind of one of those cards that you know, if you can't get the Nanina, which there's only a handful of those even available, this to me is the next best option. I mean, I guess you can get the Bola J. That's also really hard. Here's a 1963. It actually should have had Cesar and the other guy here, but the important player here is Cesar. This is an FHER that came back as a PSA 4. You know, these are kind of somewhat uncommon. This is the Cromo Ballon from 1953. This is a Paco Gento, Francisco Gento. So this would be in his rookie constellation. It's a PSA 1. I think these were stuck. You can't really see them on the blank back, but really beautiful card. Nice photography. You don't see that all the time. And here's a Cesar from the same issue, also 1. Not a lot of people talk about Cesar, but he's obviously a great all-time scorer for Barcelona. So nice to have that one. And then, of course, Telmo Zarra, you know, the great player for Bilbao. I think won the top scorer in the league like 6 times. And that came in a 3. So this one was not stuck. So excited to have that. This particular one, I think it has a, oh yeah, Kubala's on it. Although the card has Moreno as the actual player, but you can clearly see that's Laszlo Kubala on that card, that inaction card. Here's a Savory rookie at a 2.5 coming in, and then followed by an Angel Labruna at a 1. So I guess this kind of goes together with the Lastau here, all of the River Plate players right there. Although that it's just annoying. This Lastau has that weird thing going on. Okay, let's break into this. And we've got this Labruna from the Totem, another, you know, removed Pog. We've got this Mauru from the 1957 Americana, obviously best known for the Pele rookie. This gets a 1. Actually, the back is in pretty good shape, but this sticker has just been folded and folded and refolded. So it seems like it was in somebody's pocket for a while. Here's the 57 Graficas Bacende Di Stefano in a 2. It's really kind of nice looking. Actually, I thought this was going to do a lot better than that. A bit disappointed in a 2, to be honest. There's something I'll have to look at this one a little later. Here's a Santa Maria and a 1.5. Did think this was going to do a little worse, but I mean, worse than the Di Stefano, but I thought the Di Stefano was going to get like a 4 or 5. This is I'm bummed about this because this is a really kind of a hard issue to get from Argentina. It's the Figuritas Deportito. And the back is really kind of cool. You can see this one's pretty miscut, and maybe that's the reason why they say authentic altered. You can see it starts up here with a little bit of a border and ends down here with less of one. But I just think this is a terrible factory cut, as you can see from the whole thing. So anyway, it's Nestor Rossi. These were kind of really fun. These were actually kind of a rare find. And this is Norberto Mendez. And this is Figuritas Puno Fuerte. And these are really, really, really hard to find. They're drawings of the players, but pretty well done. You can nearly immediately recognize every player from the next. And here's a Fa Wilkes, great Dutch player. Really like this issue, colorful. Not sure why that got a 1. Wow. Played for a number of years in Spain as well. Wow. That shocked me. I think this, like, look at this card. This looks absolutely, gorgeous. So a 1, I've got no idea. I'll have to inspect that one carefully. Let's see what we got. Oh, here's another beautiful Puño Fuerte of La Bruna. Very, very cool. Love those. I'm going to put those Puño Fuertes here. Here's a Nestor Rossi and a 1. This one's obviously a little thrashed. You got a beautiful Norberto Mendez. We just saw this card of him. That's what I was telling you about, how the drawings look very good on these. Looks just like him. Pretty awesome. So that's really cool. Here's a Corbata and a 2. Relatively all low grades here. Here's a Zito at a 1. Oh yeah, maybe this was stuck. But look at the back. You can read everything. So nice. Zito. Here's another Lenstra. This issue's awesome. The Rizla. Love the back, how that writing's there. So an A Lenstra at 1.5. Here's another from the Figuritas Deportito. And this is Ricardo Infante. Not many cards of his are out there. And actually, I think these may be the first ones that have been graded in terms of Figuritas Deportito. Oh, look at this great Alifa card in 7.5. Horst Semeniak. I always pronounce his name wrong in German. But anyway, obviously huge star. Hard to get a 7.5 in Alifa. Imagine if that was a Pele. Woo, we'd be having a great evening here. The Vava, 59. I love these. Just one of the most classic sets of all time. This is a 2, and this actually does have paper loss, whereas the other one rated lower. So sometimes I just scratch my head. Here's the a nice blue and red, no planet. Bobby Charlton rookie in just a 3. These are just nice to pick up. Here's another. Here's a Zagalo. Just passed away recently. One as a player and a coach. One of only 3 players to do that. The World Cup, so that's pretty exciting. 1.5. Just love that issue. I actually thought this one was gonna do way better than this, because this just looks beautiful. So this is a 1952 to 54. It's hand cut. But this is a Puskas, and I just love this front. The back is really ugly. It's but this is made to be cut out, and it just looks gorgeous. And I thought it would get significantly better than the 3 that it got. Here's another Laszlo Kubala, and it's really this is a Chocolates Nieto, not Chocolates Toras, which is much more common. The Nieto is really, really hard, and there's a prize component on this one. We will also, there's some stuff that didn't grade, which we'll have to check here. It always seems like there's at least a few. They've been getting fewer and fewer as time goes on, to be honest with you. And just keep in mind, almost none of this stuff had been graded before. I guess there's more than a few. So we have a Di Stefano, which I don't know why. A Mauru, but probably it was because it's missing these pieces. And is this a helmet Ron? Yeah, it's a helmet Ron. Why would they not grade that? It just says no spec, no info, no holder, no grade. Okay, well, these are sets I'll have to try again, get the data, and get that back in the line. So bizarre. No spec, no. Okay, let's all right, the next box is just as heavy. So let's see what we have in here. All right, we've got a Pepito. These are actually tough. Norberto Mendez, obviously in pretty rough shape, but Pepitos are tough. Here is a Rivera rookie. It's a little mangled. You can see up top, it's a little mangled, but still, Rivera rookie is a Rivera rookie. Here's a Bonaparte from 59, not a rookie, but really cool looking card. That got a 2. Here's another one of the Puno Fuerte cards, and this is a 4 miscut, and this is Caricio, obviously awesome keeper. These were really hard. These are the I want to call them, I call them Lindsay, but it looks like they changed the name up here to Justo Hiner. So I'm not exactly sure how they changed those. This is a Kubala that I thought was going to do better than a 2. And here's a Sada that got a 4. So, oh yeah, so here you go. So I thought this is Chocolates El Lince, but I guess they're going off of this Justo Hiner. Okay, in my mind, I always had it as a Lince. These, I'm gonna move this over, create another stack right here. What else we got in here? A pretty interesting mix, right, of these cards. I'm like, how did I decide these? I think I just grabbed a box and started to submit them. Here's a Savory and a 2 of the same 59 VAV. I like these 59 VAV cards. Here's a Schiaffino, a great Uruguayan player, about 9 years after his win in the World Cup. This card, I love this card. This is the Belgian chewing gum. I mean, this is awesome. This Henry Copens. It's a PSA 1, but it's just beautiful. It's loved. It's a loved card. Awesome card here. Another great Labruna from the 1950 version of Starosta and a PSA 2. Here's a nice Mauru and a PSA 1. The Oliveira and Innocente, still pretty good. Here's a nice little Enrique Garcia, pretty cool, and a PSA 2 from the Starosta 1950 set. So let's break into some of these. Another nice Abe Lenstra, the Risa one. So I think I had one over here. So I'll try to do that. These are always fun. The ones that had the points on them. This is Americana. It's what, 56, I think. So the year before the Pele rookie. Really, really nice backs, clean backs, always consistent. And you got 50 points on the Zito. So the fact that it survived is pretty cool. Yep, there was a Di Stefano 50. They have 54. I had these as 53, 54. There's different backs on these, so they have different advertising. This one says Campeones de los Detergentes. That's what it's the champion of detergents. And then, so even the same color. So here's a blue one. And this is a 1.5. I thought these would be way, way better than 1.5s because they weren't stuck. I mean, it almost gives me a desire to resubmit these. The red bleeds through just on the edges. These were never stuck. So YL 1.5 on beautiful cards is absolutely beyond me. But I guess we'll come back to that. Here's another one from Lince. One was a blank back, and this one has the ad back. Here's a Corvata again. This is not a particularly good one. They call it marked, but you can see it's removed, and it has the ink from the album there. So here's a Lali. These are not the most difficult set from the early 50s to get, but really cool. Argentine with the big letters, Lali on Caricio. That's pretty cool. Here's a really end of career Piola, using, I think, a younger picture of him in a PSA 6. This is a coffee card, which I really kind of like. Lavazza. Not many coffee cards out there. Let's see what else we got in here. Here's a Suarez in PSA 7 of the Termo. Here's a PSA 6, same card, and a PSA 7. And a lot of these have graded really well lately. So I think there's like 8s, 9s, and I don't know. So here's a Cojete of Norberto Mendez. These are hard, and they're usually really light. The image kind of sucks. Pretty low quality, all things considered, but still tough cards. Here's a really cool Puck Van Heel. Of course, he really played in the 30s and 40s, but still in the Netherlands, they made a card of him here, and these backs are awesome. That's a PSA 4. Over here, another Angel Labruna and the Lali PSA 1, obviously rough back. But and then here's Nestor Rossi. Again, we had some of the crack at the beginning over here as well. Down to the last few here. And hey, if you like this video, please like it. And if you can subscribe and you haven't subscribed, that would be awesome too. Here's another Kubala and a 7. We'll take that all day long. Just a super clean, despite the grade. Lali, it's perfectly centered, which is super rare on these. Usually a lot of them are off center. So here's the Norberto Mendez and a really nice back. It must be removed, but just awesome looking. Very cool. This one I figured was going to get authentic. At least they slabbed it. A 53 OMB Gilmar. This back is terrible, but have it in the slab is good. Okay, so this one you're going to be like, oh my God, why did you grade that one? Well, this is different. This is the Bruguera version, and this is like a paper version as opposed to this one that's photographic. And so you can see the Bruguera always will have wider borders here, and I'm glad that they got this right. That I labeled it right on my submission, but it's super important to have this right. The Bruguera is much, much more difficult than the Tormo. So the Bruguera, this is a 2, but still I'll take it all day long. And I'd rather have a 2 Bruguera than a 7 Termo. That's how I see the Bruguera relative to the Termo. So it's paper, not photographic. Normally I'd prefer photographic because these are a lot easier, and especially easier in high grade. So that is, oops, did I just, here's a Carrizo again. I'm getting a little disorganized over here, which is kind of part. Oh, here's another Kubala. This is a Termo and a 6. A Julinho. This is actually a tough card in the 53 OMB. Again, none of these are great on the back, but it kind of is what it is. So let's see what else. So here's probably another, another Kubala in a 6. So we'll take that. Another Bola J Biscuit. And Carlos, that's not Carlos Alberto. That's the keeper for Brazil. Carlos, and this is a Lostau. Again, in a PSA 1. These are pretty thrashed, these lolly, but I like them, and they're not a super difficult set to get from the early 60s. Here's a Cesar. Again, I think he's totally underrated. Nobody talks about him in the hobby. I'm going to be grading a few more of his things going forward, especially if you're a Barca fan. And here's a Kubala again, and a PSA 4, which is nice. Here's another biscuit card, right? This is Branko Stankovic, great Yugoslavian player. This is awesome. This is J.M. Moreno from the super difficult Puño Fuerte set. Super happy to have that. And then here's the Felix Lostau, obviously from the same set, in a PSA 5. So those did really well. I think those did better than I expected. A number of things did worse than I expected, especially these cards right here. Well, here's an Abe Ledster. As soon as I said that, they gave me a 5 on this one, but the Fall Wilkes, they gave me what, a 1 or a 2, and on this one, there you go, a 1.5. So a couple of Abe Lenstras. Obviously super cool. Looks very close to the biscuit thing. If you don't know about him, check him out. He's pretty amazing player. Then we had here's my red that I surmised was in there, and they gave this one a 5. So, I thought most of these were going to be 4s, 5s. I think 3 of them were less than a 2, and then you get that one random 5. Here's a Buscas, again from that same set, and that's a PSA 4, and a Harry Dennis, and a PSA 5. I still thought all of these were going to be doing much better. I thought those had really some good future in there. Here's a 1953 El Legendarios y Los Novios. You can see on the back here. Pretty cute, cool little card to match with the Van Berek. So this is a 4. And to match with the Telmo Sada, which they gave a 2. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's the run. I tried to do a run of 100 cards as quickly as we could. Let me see if I had any other comments here. Yeah, he is he was just great, totally underrated. I think he tied, actually, since we're talking about Telmasara here. I think Telmasara had La Liga's top scoring for a long time until Ugo Sanchez. Maybe it was 38. It's hard for me to remember all these stats, but I think it was 38 in a 30-game season, and then Ugo Sanchez tied him with 38 in a 38-game season. But obviously he won. He was the highest scorer of the league a few times, which is great. And a lot of people, probably the best Mexican player ever. So, that's I don't know. While I'm kind of organizing my thoughts in my mind here, I figured I'd see if anybody else had any other comments. But certainly it was a fun submission. Again, it took 4 months, which is kind of long. That's about 80 business days. It's longer than what they promise, but at the same time, or estimate, I should say, they don't promise that. At the same time, more than half the cards hadn't been graded. So, I cut them some slack from that perspective. Felt a little like there was a little harsh on a few areas. And then, I felt like these guys came in a little bit better than I would have expected. So, always a little bit of a mixed bag when you grade, especially, I don't know if you guys do, when you say, hey, look, I think this is going to grade this is going to grade that. I don't really do these on these big submissions, but on some of the smaller submissions or grade sensitive ones, I think we'll continue to do that. Again, keep an eye out if you can for the videos on the 7 wonders that I'll be dropping here, and I'll be probably dropping some more because I have a few more of these types of PSA boxes, but I just won't get to those tonight. Have a great weekend, everybody. I may be on from time to time. See you on the Discord. Please like this video if you've hung on this long, and subscribe. And I really appreciate all of your support. So thanks, everybody. Have a great evening and a great weekend.